Fambulem on a good evening. I hope say any side usai una fen una self. I hope so una they do well. I don't know what to now, but to say me day the place hot. The place hot, bad one. So even as we can talk on this topic today, one thing I want to remind una also on a fen una self if the place hot like usai. Me happen for fen myself. Take some popsicles, icicles, ice cream, ginger beer, but most importantly, please, your H2O is very important. Your H2O, okay? So for me throughout the show, this is what I'm going to be drinking. Lots of it for keep hydrated, you know. Drinking other stuff, yes, it is substitute as liquid, but drinking actual water is very, very important. So when I see me during the show, I'm going to take breaks just to hydrate because it's very, very, very hot. Very hot. So, like I promised Suna, today, today I know for say during the week I come on and I tell Una say because a lot of people and they say Matilda, why you not tackle the police brutality matter last week? It's hot. I'm like, no, I needed something more. Waiting being Canada, yes, it was important, but when you do research, you need that hypothesis, you need that question where they ask, you need that thing where they make, you able go inside, you research, you dig, you nyaka, you scatter and put back together. And at the time when I do the show, that wasn't out. It was only the day after, the Saturday, if I can remember, and that ended the press release Canada from the police. Anything else that was said before that, anything else where people and they say before that, now allege, now assumption. There was no evidential fact to it because the police had not said anything at that point. It was only coming from, the population, suspicion from the populace, this and that from the general public, some eyewitness accounts, and, if an eyewitness is not under oath, you also cannot just take their word for it and just go hook, line, and sinker, right? So, what really happened this week, we get enough for make we actually now deliberate on this topic, for make we actually put the question to the forefront and say, like the topic today say, put Salone first, let's talk about the rise in police brutality and human rights violation in Sierra Leone. I mean, we don't see the case of Blacker. We don't see the case of that lady where they allege, I don't know if not been grafting or Newton, where they say a thief cell phone, where the policeman beat him with gun head. They use the gun head. We don't see Usai. I believe it was either Hamilton or Newton. If I don't remember the correct places, please correct me. Where, a policeman pull fire and shoot somebody point blank because of land where not on yon, land where not been the person in yon, and apparently, that person did not been headman, not been big man inside in community. You know what I mean? We don't see Usai, policeman go arrest somebody, and instead of they handcuff the person and take the person peacefully, then drag the person from inside or stake and a treat. We don't see Usai Okada and policeman the fetch na treat. You know what I mean? We don't see Usai na IPAM. Usai they humiliate, beat a student, strip him almost naked, left mark the nine body. Like there has been so much brutality, brute force, ruggedness, inhumane treatment really coming from the police. But on every occasion, the police can come and sort of justify their action and say they were antagonized by the public, and that when they come for execute the job, the public not give them space for execute their job, and so therefore in self-defense and in protecting themselves, they had to act in a certain manner. But this case is different, and today we dey can sit down for look inside this case and wetin make this case different. Wetin set am apart, not setting apart from the rest, because when I remember also the case of Blacker, a mental challenged person where we all know say clearly he gets mental issues, and instead of the state taking ownership, taking him into a situation where then go help and rebuild psychologically, then go put them into a psychiatric or a facility where go reintegrate and build in mind, build in spirit, and reintegrate them back to society as a sane person, as a wholesome person. Instead, the state, and to a larger extent, people within the state, within political franchise, are using this, are leveraging, and they leverage it, and they use this to their advantage for really, really, bring about, for really, really treat this man here so bad, really, really brutalize them, dehumanize them, not take consideration of a human rights then. Now, before I go forward with this topic, I want to say something. I want to say, and I'm sorry where it just dawned on me. I'm sorry I not informed the technical team in advance. This show has so go, push a little bit past the 2 hour margin where we normally can do, just because of some of the thing them where we get for talk about. And I want to make una the viewers themselves get chance for call in na the show, for also give una opinions them. Now another thing where I want to take talk na so as well, even before I start the show proper, I want go take 1 minute for go back na last week's show we been they talk about the parliamentarians them and the proposed welfare bill. There was a question asked where are not being addressed. The question are being waiting wrong if they ask. They are not committing a crime. Absolutely, they are not committing a crime by asking. However, you get for look at the environment, waiting they happen around you, the situation before you do certain things. It wasn't their ask that was the issue. Everybody gets right for ask. It's the timing of their ask and the economic environment of the country and the living situation of the ordinary people that they claim to represent. That's what makes it outrageous. That's what makes their nadande na they make their acts right now very, very outrageous, very uncouth, not very mindful of the people, and at some, to some degree you can say they seem to be taking advantage of the high illiteracy level of the people. They seem to be taking advantage of the high literacy rate of the people, and that shows them like they are so very important for make we come and make we dey talk about the thing they are so. As well, even before I start the show, please, the parliamentarians and the electoral body, they don't introduce different rules them to voting. Please, una pay attention to Dandy as well. Different rules and to una voting. I'm hoping to put together a panel discussion for can talk about this, because first of all, they not bring and can to una where then they represent now the different constituents them for can talk about this thing also and waiting then they introduce this new legislation or act where they want introduce where completely they against the law. Before they introduce such thing, right now they don't care and go parliament. But however, even before it go parliament, they suppose for them consult una way then they represent for make them do sensitization, awareness, and see if not seen them way una agree with. But not to done we they are so for talk for today. Therefore, in true Matilda style, let us start the show proper. And in starting the show proper today, I want to make sure say una know say the one person where I go get for focus on in the show today go now the person where popularly known a rapper na Sierra Leone where popularly known as LAJ. Okay, LAJ. LAJ in case right now, I get for use as me specimen. Okay, and they can use the case of LAJ for talk about police brutality, human rights abuse by the police. Okay, and they can use the LAJ situation as me case study. Now, una all know for say it's been over 2 weeks now where we hear say LAJ was taken by the police and he's been put in jail, and now he don't come off from jail. Now he in a prison, right? He spent about 10 or 11 days in jail. We go against the constitution because if they hold you after 72 hours, they not lay any charge on you. They not not see you not appear in a court, nothing, and supposed for free. You know, so the constitution say, but not to that they happen in this case. And also, before we go, I want to make something clear, Nayasu. Because the first thing where they can read, I don't want to make people then take as the Bible, as now waiting happen. And they can read this thing as why they can read it because now him bring about now the cascading events them will happen after to this point here so where we did so, right? Allegedly. And I get for tell una something, make I put a disclaimer. Do I believe everything in that report? Absolutely not. If I sit down now, so I tell una say I believe all waiting that witness they say or the alleged victim say, I will be a fool. Do I believe some of waiting he say na court? Yes. And I also want to make something very clear, Nayaso. In as much as I can use the LAJ in situation for can talk on this topic, I am not sitting here saying 100% that LAJ is right in his actions. Neither am I also saying 100% that the alleged victim is also right in his actions. I am not also sitting here saying that justice should not be served to the alleged victim. Just as well as I am not also sitting here saying that justice should not be served to LAJ. All I am saying here, and I want to make una get this clear. Waiting at it, talk na ya sona. Waiting good for the goose is also good for the ganders. The law should be applicable to all, regardless of stature, regardless of your position, regardless of who that you be. But when they apply the law, you for make sure so you apply them equally and fairly. Now, I'm not going to talk about the equally and fairly side right now. And another thing where I want for talk, because I know for say people then very observant, and then go quick for can tell me say, Matilda, you not read the fuller community then press release. Neither you not read the ambassador of entertainment in press release. And I can't tell you now immediately why make I not go read them to press release then they. At first, when this thing happened, few days later, the Fuller Community Association put out a press release supporting LAJ, condemning the actions, condemning the police actions, and demanding that LAJ be released. After somebody contacts them, allegedly, because, and the reason why I am saying allegedly is just now because I'm not dead me self not dead as a person for say I've been dead way talk and that make they say allegedly. Please get this right. I am not saying allegedly because I do not have confirmation of the fact that this person put the association under duress for do waiting and do afterwards. I am saying allegedly because I, Matilda Cole, I wasn't present there. Now, allegedly, the person when at the aid man for the police committee go to the Fuller community, demanded that the Fuller community withdraw them press release and put press release where they support the police in action. Sierra Leoneans, you guys are very intelligent people. I don't need to call the name. I know so I can read in between the lines and I can clearly know who that possibly. So for that very fact that the association did not act on their own willingly and did what they were supposed to do as an association and not submit themselves to the duress of one person and then waga their statement, I am not interested in what they have to say as an association. Clearly, they don't show say they cannot hold their own and they can easily be swayed. So therefore, I extricate myself from that press release day. The second press release where una go notice say I not go read now the press release from the entertainment ambassador. I not go read the press release from the entertainment ambassador for two reasons. One, when you are the head of an organization and something affects somebody inside your organization, you know they wait till other people then begin talk and say before you jump in the defense of that person there, before you jump for backup you person. Irregardless of una personal squabbles them, irregardless of una personal chamots, so long as now you na the head of that body day, who side that person they belong, your personal business with them is an X. The welfare of the person comes first. You put your personal squabble aside, and as the head of the organization, you deal with the person from a level playing field. It takes the person close to about 8 days or about 8 days after the arrest of LAJ. And when Boku people they don't Canada and they don't talk before the person release, the so-called entertainment ambassador release a press release. For me, that is a no-no. And because that is a no-no, again, I disassociate myself from that press release because the press release did not take action when action was needed. Now, before I read the first thing for set the show, I want to take time for say, I hope say, una understand the side where me they come out from. Me they put them from million angle. And I want to be as fair and as balanced and as objective in treating this issue tonight. I go ask the technical team make them pull up the first let's say the setup. Make we set the scenario up according, again, let me say this, according to the alleged victim. This was what transpired. This was what transpired. Okay. We go just wait for the technical team a little bit, make them pull this up, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so at the begin with me people them. So I want for first of all say thank you to Sierra Network for the material, because this is where we got this material from. So thank you to the Sierra Network family, AAA and the rest. The message reads, the summary reads: principal witness testifies in court, LJ refuses bail. Okay, a go on for say judicial communication, Pademba Road, court number 1, 22nd June 2022. Principal Magistrate, His Worship Magistrate Sa Kekura, has again refused bail to Alhaji Amadou Ba alias LJ, who is before the court to answer to four counts including robbery with violence and assault, occasioning actual bodily harm. Okay. And then at the thing them way then say, then they accuse them of way now then get for see if they find them guilty of robbery with violence, so thief with violence, including you make somebody, you wound somebody. Okay, we continue to read. Identifying himself as the pump as a pump attendant, Ishmael Kamara said he is an employee of Leone fuel station at Water Street, Congo Cross in Freetown. He admitted knowing Frances Wilson as a colleague, so now the second attendant that they were been there in the scene. I know the accused person. He is a popular Sierra Leonean musician. He said, recounting that I remembered Saturday, the 12th of June 2022, I was on duty at Water Street Lonko Fuel Station. Something happened between myself and the accused person. On that very Saturday around 3 o'clock, my colleague Musa and Florence were at work at the fuel station, and a black Ford vehicle without a number plate came into the fuel station. According to him, they parked in front of Frances's machine, pump number 2, and the driver alerted the vehicle and asked why Frances was sitting down. The driver Ishmael came down and said he wanted 500,000 leones petrol, but he was asked by Christiana to park properly, and he did as instructed. He said one man in the same vehicle by the name of Buju started arguing with the pump attendant Frances. He said, why should Frances sit down idling? But Frances immediately responded by saying that there was no vehicle to sell to. He said she was lazy and that she was lazy and should be up and working because no pump attendant should be seen sitting. Popularly known as Asho, the driver stated that that Timberland boot way you wear, you go kill am all. Ishmael then stated that the accused should come and and speak a language Frances understands. During the process, the accused highlighted the vehicle and the driver's seat and came to where Frances was and leaned on the vehicle where Frances was pumping the fuel. He continued that he overheard one Buju saying that Frances, that you are a prostitute, and after sleeping all night, you only come here to sit down. He told the court that Ishmael said, you should effing remove the pump from the vehicle. We will not effing pay you. Frances removed the nozzle from the fuel from the vehicle after pumping 27 liters with some points. PW1, which is now the accused person that was in battery and that is alleged to have been battered, explained, stating that Musa came and told them what they were doing is not right. She is a woman. You guys should stop insulting her. He said LJ was quick to scold Musa for such a cautioning statement. LJ pushed him in the face and Musa fell down. During the scuffle, Ishmael then grabbed. Nayerio, they did not say LJ grabbed. They say Ishmael grabbed the sails from Musa when Mr. Daniel Kelly, manager of Okilai or Kali, I think, manager of Leone came to the scene. The manager then held on to the bag and said, when Christiana removed her phone to film what was going on, the accused rushed at her and scolded her. Christiana sent the phone to me and I placed it inside the sales bag. He told the court, reiterating that LJ Baju and Ishmael and one unknown person rushed at him and scolded him viciously. He said he was unable to breathe as a result. He let go of the sales bag, but the accused constantly held onto his throat. LJ took the phone from my bag and the money, 4,200,000 leones. The accused and Ishmael also threatened to come burn down the station, he said, adding that they entered the Ford vehicle and drove off. By then, Musa had gone to Congo Cross police station and brought a truckload of police officers. They were traced with the police van and were caught at Kisi Road Cemetery. The police instructed that he highlight the vehicle and join them in the police van. Thereafter, they moved to the Congo Cross police station. Statements were obtained at Congo Cross and a medical report was issued to me, he concluded. Accused LJ was represented by IP Mohammed Esquire Madiu Sise Esquire Alfred. Okay, I'll stop there for now. So, me fumble them. So basically, let me just say, this 9 the accused person Ingo talking a court say happen. If I tell you say I believe all waiting that accused person they say, I go tell you say a lie. One thing I believe for sure, that the accused person of what happened, that waiting happened, I believe say yes, then go to that petrol station day. I believe say yes, then ask the people them for buy petrol. I believe say yes, that maybe in the process of buying petrol, some arguments take place. I believe say yes, it is possible that LJ tell the person say, left or film me. I don't want to make you film me. And now these people, they not understand. Just because you have a phone on your hand doesn't mean you have the right to film somebody. If the person clearly tell you say no film me, I no want to make you film me, you dey invade in privacy, you no for film am, you for stop. Did I believe that LJ possibly grab and choke that person there and possibly even slap him? Yes, I believe that. Because listen, no man is an island. Everybody gets the limit. Everybody gets the side where you push them to, then they react. Right? I believe say LJ take the money with him. I don't believe that. I honestly not believe say with everything where LJ don't go through na that country dey. Where just for simple, okay, make I not say simple, because mommy cost not a simple thing, but just for cause and insult somebody, another private civilians, the police they jump inside kakatua and take business like for Senate and you. Where at the same time the said person in your picking camp, it cost waiting past that day, we not see the same reaction from the police. So the fact that this person run go Congo cross and go say na LJ, oh, there was an interest already there. Because usai una de yeri say two civilian then they fit, then una see a truckload of police come na that civilian fit day. Where have you heard of that? It know they happen, not inside Salone. So for the fact that it say they load one truck police and then pursue the vehicle, tells you something. Now, in terms of believability, do I believe say somebody been in that vehicle where maybe now a male chauvinist where excuse me, sometimes in the rain insult Pandapo gas station lady, it is quite possible. It is quite possible. Do I believe say sometimes LJ slap that guy there, after them begin videotape him, and he tell the person say no videotape me, left for videotape me. And the reason why I dey give this account is that somebody wey been there at the station where this thing happened from beginning to end, the person pull an audio, give an account of wetin happened even before this person also go na court. This person been don pull an audio last week, and the account where he give, based on wetin I dey tell una say, do I believe? I dey take from this person in your account where he give, this other victim, this victim also in your statement where you go give at the police. I don't put them all two together. I don't pull wetin me need for pull panel all two accounts them, because I believe say even that person the way make that audio, he embellish the story. Just like where this, I don't know if na Musa na the person in himself. Give me a second. I'd like to get the name right. Just give me a second, please. Kamara Ishmael. Just like where this Ishmael person here, so we go team up na the Kotos, I strongly believe say himself embellish the story of wetin happened against LJ. Now, let us say LJ been somebody na LJ in crew. Now this been take this money here, so should charges be laid? Absolutely. Should the police have retrieved the money at that point because then chase the vehicle? Absolutely, they should have. But they're not telling me if they retrieve this money or so. They're not telling me what happened to the money. Could it be possible that the driver wey been the drive that vehicle, because remember not to LJ been the drive this vehicle? Could it be possible that the driver wey been the drive that vehicle day? Is it possible that the driver drove off without paying the pump attendants the money where they owe? It's quite possible. And the reason why all of this can happen, again, that make I say, una left for take people and they make them demigods. When you not give certain stardom to certain people them out of respect, you always also you get the same responsibility for make them constantly know for say they're a human being and then they're not there above anybody else. Just because you show them respect, no mean for say them better pass you and then they above you. Now from every account where I don't listen to, This thing will happen, not happen. The fracas really not happen between LJ and the person directly. The only time where LJ inside this business, now where somebody begin videotape him and he say, don't videotape me. I sure say if the person be don't turn around, he turn to the situation. I don't think say LJ go can scholar you and slap you just because of whatever. If somebody say don't videotape me, it means don't videotape me. If somebody say no shape me picture, now in right, it means say no shape me picture. Example, when I was getting married, I told people you are invited to my wedding. Whatever you record on your phone, keep it for your memory. If I catch you, you put on a social media any side. Not only is it the end of our friendship, I will report you, it will be deleted, but it is the end of me knowing you as a person. I was very strict about that. So any picture you see of me wedding or anything, any picture that I do not post, or I do not give you the authorization to post, you do not have the right to post. Me paddy, they all sabi that. So this thing called privacy of space, we still not understand them and we still not learn but than it. Now, the other thing where I want for make una pay attention to is that LJ not only mean they drive this vehicle. LJ na be a passenger in this vehicle. Okay? LJ not to in motor car. So therefore, whatever gas where them pump inside that motor car, the way they not pay for, shouldn't be the responsibility of LJ as a passenger on board a vehicle. That is the responsibility of the driver. I hope so they get that. The other thing is that the thing happened at Congo Cross Police Station. The complainant register in complaint at Congo Cross Police Station. Why is it that when they all LJ, why make they not put them, they say they all on a Kisi Road, why make they not either all on a Kisi Road Police Station, or why may they not bring and come back now the scene of the crime, quote unquote, and when I say scene of the crime, I use this word very loosely. Why make them not bring and come back now the scene of the crime at Congo Cross Police Station and left at Congo Cross Police Station? If they think that Congo Cross Police Station was too intense, as in what don't scatter say, LJ is in a fracas with the police, or LJ been there among something will happen, why make una no care and go na Adelaide Street Police Station? Why of all places, of all holding cell, why make una care and go na Benghazi? And let me say the Sierra Leone is not in war. So therefore Sierra Leone does not need a torture camp. They don't need a torture prison outside then the whole, then war, how they call them, opponents them. Benghazi was a tortured camp in Libya. It is very notorious for doing very nefarious things them to people them. Then at that same thing day, we Sierra Leoneans, after having experienced a civil war that has destituted our society, left so many children without father and mothers, left so many amputated, maimed, war orphans, war wounded, war raped, you name it. We have the relics of it smelling and stinking everywhere. We have the nerve to institute a torture camp right in the city central of Sierra Leone. We not learn nothing it. We not learn nothing it. And then when the rumor of LJ in arrest one come out na do, people then begin speculate. Oh no, Idena Congo cross. Idena Congo cross. And before long, news come out say it don't go Benghazi. But someone like me who sits on the media, I can say Ide Benghazi because I do not have facts. I not get facts. You get to wait for fact. And the only person that can corroborate that fact is either LJ himself, who is currently locked up in Pademba Road, or the police institution, someone, a media representative from the police institution to confirm that fact. So today when they wait a minute, they say last week, Matilda, you for don't deal with this topic. No, I needed facts. So that it is not the words of Matilda, but it is their own words interpreted by Matilda. So then waiting happen after. This statement here, so many people go say, why make I read this statement? I begin with this statement because it laid the scene. It not lay the actuality of the scene in actual fact as how it occurs. Listen, I I can tell when there are holes in a story. I can tell when a story is being cooked up, where they add pepper or salt on the story, than when they tell the actual story. So what I have read to you, please, in no uncertain terms and conditions, must you take it hook, line, and sinker as the actual story. Waiting me believe say happen, I me don't tell una. As a matter of that day, June 12th, waiting actually happen. Now that police station. Now me don't tell una so. Maybe I missed some few points. Maybe I even added some few points. But I am telling you, based on listening to eyewitness accounts, waiting they all don't talk. I don't pull ya, put ya, pull ya, put ya. When you are listening to the account of stories and there are similar trends, then you know that the people are saying the truth. Wherever they deviate, you know for saying, and then they add pepper and salt inside. So I have filtered all the pepper and salt. And I don't bring and come to the core of the issue. Now let us address the core of the issue. Speculation. LAJ, for the third time, not the first time so, this is now the third time where they don't care and go Benghazi. And the third time. When I remember that Mami Cost business, so I end up again na Benghazi. That was in December. Now, 6 months later, we are speaking in January, not even 6 months, 5 months later. We are speaking Benghazi again for the same person for the third consecutive time. However, there was a different been there this time around. Excuse me, people. Just need to drink some water. Very hot. Difference been there this time around. The first time we then carry and go, they lock them, they left and Canada. The second time we then carry and go, they lock them, stress and then bring and can. But this third time we then carry and go, there was a change. What was that change? Few days later, we hear say, they don't cut LJ in dreads. What in a LJ in dreads? LJ in dreads not a ritual as far as I know. LJ in dreads na in persona na in alter ego character. The Amadou Ba that you know is the Amadou Ba where in Papa give birth to, where in Papa say, where I born am, I don't crepe in aid and kill 2 cow according to their traditions and customs. So nobody again no need for creping aid because waiting me supposed for do for me picking where I born am inside my own culture, my own custom and tradition for kill 2 cow and creping aid. I'd already do that. Now me picking Amadou Ba decide for take a career path where that career path they need for presenting himself some kind way. He decides say as part of him persona, as part of an alter ego, you need for put dreadlocks. It don't grow in dreadlocks. Now, if you have seen pictures of LJ, they know for say in dreadlocks not pass reach here so. It's just a little bit past his shoulder. I need for make una dey pay attention to the critical points they are what it is. LJ in dreadlocks, not only like Fantasy Wiz in dreadlocks. Fantasy had over 10-foot dreadlocks. When me for say Fantasy I am 5'10" in stature. Okay? 5'10" in stature. Where I wear heels, I am 5'6". Okay? Fantasy Wiz in dreadlocks na 10 foot long. Now take your ruler, 10 foot long. That's how long Fantasy Wiz, and she's grown her dreadlocks for over 15 years. LJ in dreadlocks, it just passing shoulder, small normal candle. This is very important for me to bear that in mind. When the news of LJ in dreadlocks come on a door, AYV, again, we give acknowledgements to AYV for this clip. AYV gets a show where they invite the police communications person, Sao Conte. Okay, I believe he's either inspector or something like that, Sao Conte. Listen to the question where the host ask him and waiting in response be. Technical team, let's go.
The Superintendent of Police, Samuel Sao Conte, who is the Deputy Spokesman for the police, and he's here to respond to allegations against LEG. Superintendent, good morning and welcome to Wake Up Salone.
A very good morning, Samuel.
La put on this way. Then say we una arrest LEG Sunday. Take Angola police Monday. 3 police officers them approach him and say them for babbing here and for creeping here come on in aid. But he refused, and the strength of the 3 police officers not be enough for force him. So they say now then go, then group 10 more come and then force him. Finally then creep here and aid and unado inject him with a chemical. Tell us, how true are these?
Yeah, of course, as I say, at the drive, but the allegation, of course, no policeman no would think of that day. No policeman have the right for do the kind of thing and do to any individual, say, because of dread and then for creeping here and we inject out with chemical. No, Samuel Rice Bangua, that one not true.
So when you say like you say you drive, but no police officer not go do that. Have you confirmed? Have you checked with the guys whether or not that, or you're just thinking that no, it's against the law and you're sure police officers will not do that? Where are we?
Of course, I mean all police personnel, say the training where we all go. We all police personnel they go. That one they not correct, and the basic police routine duties we training we undergo during and after training school. No go warrant any policeman. Of course, now the person in your own intrinsic right. And naturally, na your own style that one. So why police go interfere with somebody in your own dread or natural something we get say no. And this one not to think say what you think. No policeman no go do that one day.
Okay, so that in the practice, no policeman no go do am. So let us now, they don't do am or they not do am. Not to whether the policeman go do or they not go do am. They don't do am or they not do am.
Come again?
then they don't creep in aid or they're not creeping it, because the thing now is we know say policeman they not for do according to your own submission. Now we want for know whether or not they don't violate their own code, the law, for forcefully creep in dread na aid and inject out the chemical, then do am or they not do am.
Fair enough, LJ now we custody, and the issue of letting creep in aid or for they use chemical or they inject them with chemical. That one day, of course, I know say we police they not go do that.
All right, Superintendent Sayu, the question is, as LA is in your custody at the moment, does he have a bald head?
If he has what? Come again.
If you get too long, forgive me. But the question is, again, you don't make it very clear. Say no policeman don't get the right for creep in aid to look. But the allegation now that they don't creep the Yakomona in aid, and they also go for further for inject them with a chemical. They don't do that here. We know so many police not for do them. So we ask now, the police them do them. You don't confirm say allegedly on a custody right now with Toulon, and you go there with dread and on eject them. That's the question.
Yeah, but I tell you, Samuel White and of course Antonia say the aspect of detaining somebody not necessarily means say them for going to the person in your own characteristics or aspects of.
Not go round and round
life.
the issue again. The question is, did police officers cut off his dreadlocks?
From the time we did a custody Sunday, a day within dread.
So now,
maybe owner don't get screw, but as far as me know, as the
all right, so what you're saying is you cannot confirm whether that happened.
Well, fair enough. I call you. You know, say when I tell me, say when I wait for interview me.
Yes.
And then say the Monday, and of course the day with dread. So that means they say, and a very senior somebody, I call, and fair enough, I know they that they sell with them, but waiting.
So the information we then give you
is still
now
there
that
in grade.
they're not cutting here.
Yes, it's still there in grade.
okay. Thank you. Plenty thank you for we took your time and talk to we Superintendent. It's always a pleasure having you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Samuel White.
All right.
Okay, so we fumble them. So basically, after the said person where this I believe Ishmael guy will say LJ assault you know, take money come on hand, this that. After you don't go put now in your statement na Congo course. Naturally, we go expect say LJSF go make your own statement na Congo course. And if the guy go ahead for report the matter to the police and say yes, I want for prosecute this matter. Remember, not all the police they say they want for pursue, because this is a civilian issue, people. I hope say una understand. This is not a case about LJ against the state or LJ and the police. These are two civilians, then two Sierra Leone and the way brackets society. So if one and the person where that the on two brackets decide say, okay, this one not the left hand, you are not go left hand. And they go prosecute. I want to make this matter also be prosecuted, delay formal complaints, and then say, I want to make una, you know, and then the police deem say, okay, because of so and so, you need for them at jail, then you all at jail. But that ain't not mean for say, you know, they take LJ, you know, statements or accounts of waiting happen. Now, allegedly, according to eyewitnesses, while LJ been they make in own statements na Congo course, power powers from the above, because that is what they allegedly said, that powers from the above sent them to come pick him up and take him to Benghazi. How is that fair dispensation of justice? This is a civil matter between two civilians then. Just like that December issue with a certain journalist. Now be a civil matter between two civilians then. When this inspector Yaso came, when then they ask a question to the fact that we really said and cut LJ in head. Now true say they shaving dreadlocks or they not shaving dreadlocks. He say, according to the constitution, nobody no get right, even police no get right for violate that mandate in human rights like that. That nobody, all policemen know for say, if they hold somebody, they're not go shave the person head or treat them some kind way just because it didn't in custody. And make we know for say, when you didn't police custody, you are under the care of this, of the police. Then suppose for make sure say no harm befall you, no harm come under you. Now it different from where you then a prison. Right now them put in a prison. When you then a prison, you dey under the care of the state. When you then a jail, you're under the protection of the police. Do you hear the difference? I did not say you're under the harm or the mistreatment of the police. I said you are under the protection of the police. When they put in a prison, you become a property of the state because the state is responsible for you. I hope so now they get the two difference. Now, I will please appeal to those calling my phone while I am on the show. Please go to VOS and watch the show. VOS, okay? Voice of Sierra Leone. VOS, Voice of Sierra Leone Network, or Voice of Sierra Leone Television. Please, I appeal to you all, stop calling my personal phone to send you the link of the show because it is very distracting. I'm really trying to focus on the show to get and make the most of the show. You calling me, sending me messages is very distracting. Okay, I mean no disrespect, no offense, but please go to VOS, type in na Facebook or na YouTube, on our Instagram, on our Twitter, type in Voice of Sierra Leone Network or Voice of Sierra Leone Television. You dey see me at the daily live. Please, I am kindly asking everyone. Thank you very much. So, going back to what I was saying. So, when they interviewed this Inspector Yaso, truth be told, even though he didn't look quite put together and ready for the interview, wetin he say na the truth. When you dey in police custody, the police no get right for go shave you head, go begin they do you this, begin they do you that. You dey in them protection until the matter is referred somewhere else. But wetin happen, and wetin then at the constitution, nine this person he also say this Sao Conte. To be honest, that's what he said. And every police officer, them basic training, they know say when somebody then at your custody, then get the rules them. This you for do, this you for do, this you for do, this you for do, you not for do this, you not for do this, you not for do this, you not for do this. So now I'm trying, the question now where we want to ask is that, is Benghazi part of the police unit or is it a special force? Because the reason why they can't ask this, even after this man so don't clearly state waiting then at the constitution, what is to ensue is a press release from the police. We completely contradict waiting them publication or communication person say Sao Bangura. And for Sao Bangura speaking the truth and saying exactly what waiting then at the police order, exactly wetin the police supposed to do, exactly wetin dey na the constitution, is been demoted and sent to Woti Funk. When the outcry, the outburst of the population Canada, instead of the police taking ownership and responsibilities of their mistake, instead, they try to sweep things under the carpet by first of all demoting the said Sao Conte to Woti Funk. I want now make we listen to after waiting this policeman Yasodon said, the young communication representative, which was factual, waiting the police now turn and say for justify their action. Make we take a step by step, dear. Today your show go be a little bit long, but we need to understand these things. Now, I can read the press release from the Sierra Leone police. Excuse me. Sierra Leone police for immediate release. It says the public is hereby informed that the Sierra Leone police is currently investigating a case of robbery with violence involving one Alhaji Amadou Ba alias LAJ. The said LAJ was taken into police custody. Una member then say na police custody, then take him. They not tell we say then take care and go na a special unit. They not tell we say then care and go na a special force designed for something. Then say na police. And when you are in police custody, you ought to be protected by the police. Okay, protected by the police, not abused by the police. Your rights and protection should be guaranteed by the police. I continue to read. The said LAJ was taken into police custody on Sunday, June 12, 2020, following a report made against him and some others by 3 fuel pump attendants working for Lonko filling station, which is situated along the main motor road Congo Cross. Social and traditional medias were later awashed with news that LAJ was injected and his dreadlocks shaved off while still in our custody. The Sierra Leone police would therefore like to be clear on the following points. A, that Alhaji Amadou Ba is under investigation by the Sierra Leone police for felony offenses for which he could be kept in the police custody while investigation is ongoing for a period spanning up to 10 days. Now, remember, say, now day 10, now they release him that even 10. After that morning show, where the other Conte guy, the other Salone police Conte guy go na 98.1, where he go mumu himself, nyaka scatter himself with false and archaic justifications of the law. You are bringing a constitution that is no longer in operation within a society to justify your act. You are bringing a constitution of 1970 something, 1960 something. We're no longer in operation within a country for justify your act. The 1991 constitution might not be perfect, like I always say, and it needs to be rewritten. However, there is no provision within the 1991 constitution that brings in or takes into consideration the defaulted constitution of 1970 something and 1960 something, and therefore gives you the right to be quoting such laws within the remits of the 1991 constitution. And that man they sit down na that radio station bold face, saying that he believed that the police acted within the remits of the law. These were the justifications that the police gave. Make we go. They say that that Alhaji Amadou Ba is under investigation by the police for a fallacious offense for which he could be kept in police custody while investigation is ongoing for a period spanning up to 10 days. B, that it is not true as alleged that he was injected with any red substance while still in the custody of the police. C, that the holding center custody facility where it is operates a standard procedure predicated on preserving the health and well-being of all male suspects. I don't know how they preserve the health and well-being of male suspects by saying that it is part of your standard operating procedure for shave the head, where they are just suspects. Remember, they are just suspects. Women for say the Constitution guarantee them protection by the police. They have not been found guilty. They are not prisoners, which means that they are the property of the state. And if the states deem within the SOP or within the remits of the Constitution and human rights law that they have the right to shave off the head of a prisoner, that's a completely different story we are talking about. But in this particular case, we are talking about an issue where there is an allegation that is yet to be proven. Make we go on. That that Alhaji Amadou Ba, who was and still is at the custody facility, had his dreadlock shaved off as the SOP in that facility dictates, and also for security reasons. I don't know what security reasons. These standard procedures were clearly explained to the suspect before his head was shaved off. That F, that he is still being held in our custody, awaiting legal advice on the preferment or appropriate criminal charges on his file. The Sierra Leone police continues to assure his family members, fans and friends and other people interested in this matter that LJ is being well looked after and all his rights will be fully respected within the custody. All his rights will be fully respected. Now, I want to go to the Constitution, because this is where Sierra Leone goes and signs treaties and conventions, and they do not respect these treaties and conventions. Not because they do not know, not because they don't know the treaties and conventions them way Sierra Leone don't sign, not because they don't understand or they don't teach them waiting they're supposed for do and waiting they're not supposed for do, but because they feel they are demigods and that the people are beholden to them, just like whether parliamentarians say, in demanding their welfare. That is why they treat the people in this way. This man is a civilian. He is a national, he is a son of the soil, who is guaranteed all rights and privileges according to the Constitution of Sierra Leone. Nothing else, nothing more. Why the Sierra Leone police feel say the SOP for they above the Constitution of the law and for they above human rights treaties and conventions them where they sign, I don't get it. But here is where now you begin to ask the question, say, who is actually ruling Sierra Leone? Who is the head? Do we respect laws or do we not respect laws? Because what in the Constitution say? The Constitution say they hold you within 74 hours, then for don't charge you. No, 72 hours, then for don't charge you. You get right to cancel. When you say you get right for talk to your lawyer, you get right for call your family members them and talk to your family members them. None of which was given to LJ or accorded to LJ until after 10 days and countless attempts and a lot of barrage from the public, a lot of condemnation from the public and international. Before the police on the 10th day at around 4 something in the afternoon, Kerangona court. And then when the Kerangona court lay charges on them, 4 counts charges as soon as then refuse and bail after being held for 10 days without proper care, without access to his father, without access to his family members, without access to counsel. Counsel tried for go there several times and refused access to counsel. People, I hope say una they understand the gravity of them thing here so. I hope say una they understand the gravity of them kind thing here so. A lawyer go see and then refuse for making lawyer see him. In papa we born am, where the law say you get rights for access immediate as matter in fact as them baps you so one of the first too few calls them where you allow now you cancel and your family. They denied him the right. And when the family in Papa go to the extent it involved the Human Rights Commission, where under international laws where Sierra Leone sign, and even inside this week constitution, when the Human Rights Commission appear, now any holding cell or any prison or any court demanding to see a detainee, there are no questions asked. They are to be given the full right to get access and for see that detainee. But guess what happened inside Sierra Leone? Several attempts were made. They refused the Human Rights Commission representative, that person where at the end of the year, people will not understand what to make a vex this kind vex so. Because people have this way of writing reports for Sierra Leone and claim how perfect then scores her about human rights treatments in Sierra Leone. So the next human rights report where they come out inside Sierra Leone, I want to see what in the Human Rights Commission get for rights. I honestly want to see what in the Human Rights Commission get for rights. Because it was this very same head of the Human Rights Commission and people within the Human Rights Commission will make several attempts for go see Elejena jail, just for go see a for make sure say yes, he well, he did fine. They were refused access. They did not allow them to see him. Let's say you refuse access to the family, you refuse access to the lawyer. You cannot refuse access to the Human Rights Commission. Nowhere in the world. It no matter the worst dictatorship, when the Human Rights Commission come, when the International Human Rights Commission or the country in Human Rights Commission and people in come, it no matter if you're not Ariobo, you dey open road for them and say on a can look a day. But what did the Sierra Leone police do? Knowing everything they know, knowing that Sierra Leone is a signatory to the Luanda guidelines, knowing that inside them basic training, all the LUC them, all the police officers them have been trained on the basic rules of the Luanda guidelines of the protection of the rights of citizen. They still went ahead to do this. So, either one or two things can be true. Either the police is tone deaf about what they are doing and do not care about the repercussion and has no regard for the Sierra Leone Constitution and the law. Or either the academic criteria set for make them bring people and can inside the police force is so low bar none that even when they tell them this principle, they do not understand it. I repeat myself. It is either the Sierra Leone police is so tone deaf about human rights and the constitution and the Luanda Accord and the Luanda guidelines and waiting they're supposed for do to people them waiting at in custody and we're not then at in custody. Or the education standard for accepting people into the police force is so low bar none that even when they don't teach them, they cannot process. So to justify waiting this police officer na the interview been say Sao Conte. And to debunk wetin this press release say, I want go to 3 sections the normal na the Salone Constitution. Just 3 sections na the Salone Constitution. First of all, I want to start with 17.3. 17.3 na the Salone Constitution. Una see wetin 73 na the Salone Constitution say. I don't already talk and done. Any person who is arrested or detained in such a case as mentioned in paragraph E or F and subsection 1, who is not released shall be brought before the court of law A, within 10 days from the date of arrest in cases of capital offense, offenses carrying life imprisonment and economic and environmental offenses. So, the police can say, we kept him for 10 days because they feel. And I understand, say me not a lawyer, but I read law small and I understand certain things and I can interpret, not so. They can now use this section and say an economic and environmental offenses. They can use that and use that as a justification for holding him for the 10 days. However, the law goes on to say within 72 hours of his arrest in case of other offenses. Then put 4 counts. Waiting at the 4 counts then. All the 4 counts, do they fall under A? Or is there a mix between A and B? I go on to read. And if any person arrested or detained in such a case is mentioned in said paragraph F, is not tried within the period specified in paragraph A or B of this section, as the section may be, then without prejudice to any further proceeding which may be brought against him, he shall be released, either unconditionally or upon reasonable conditions, including in particulars such condition as reasonable, necessary to ensure that he appears at a later date for trial or proceeding preliminary preliminary to trial or proceeding preliminary to trial. So when I look at this, remember, I'm not looking at this. Some people then go say, Matilda, why make you not bring a lawyer can this show? I get them wootete. Or why make you not bring a civil activist, a human? No, I am not doing that. Because it is high time that we leave lawyers to interpret certain things and that we read the law for what it is. God give we common sense and understand them for what it is and teach we people them. I don't want any grandiose explanation. I want the raw explanation of what in the law say. So that's why I did not call any lawyer to the show. I did not call any human rights activist, nobody. Na me and una. Now we dey so today. So when you look at everything we don't go on, from the time where they arrest LJ to the 10 where they care and go that afternoon at that court, where that judge they refuse and bail. And when you look at what in the Constitution say, when you take subsection E, subsection F, and then you look at the interpretation of what in the Constitution say, and should LJ still not be, should LJ not be granted bail? Should LJ be in prison, or should he be out on bail awaiting proceeding? Remember, this is not a matter of the state. This is a matter between 2 civilians. I will continue for me remind you now of that, because that point is very, very important. This is not a state versus a civilian of the state. These are two civilians. This is not a civil matter. I want to go on to section 20 and section 23 of the Constitution. I go urge una all, una we sabi read. Do you abeg go una that time? Take some time, read this here. I know it's not perfect, but until we get something better, familiarize yourself with the Sierra Leone Constitution. Subsection section 20 of the Constitution. I go ask me the technical team, make it carry go there. So subsection 20 of the Constitution, and this is so people. Oh my goodness, my grandmother. I laugh because my granny say make I not turn lawyer. He tell me why make I not turn lawyer. And the more I grow into myself, I am understanding more and more why, and I will honor my word to her that I'll never become a lawyer. Anyways, make we go on. Section from inhumane treatment. Now this section here, so now they carried. This section reads, okay, I'm just waiting for my technical team to put this up for me. Okay, so it goes protection from inhumane treatment. 21 goes, no person shall be subjected to any form of torture or any punishment or other treatment which is inhumane or degrading. When I read it says, no person shall be subjected to any form of torture or any punishment or other treatment which is inhumane or degrading. Let's assume, yes, he assaulted that petrol station pump guy. Is the punishment equal to the crime? Is the punishment within the constitution of the land? Remember, they don't shave in dreadlocks in a holding cell. Holding cell. Section 2 of 20 reads, nothing contained in or done under the authority of any law shall be held to be inconsistent with or in contravention of this section to the extent that the law in question authorizes the infliction of any kind of punishment which was unlawful immediately before the entry into force of this constitution. So again, Sierra Leoneans, I ask una, when was the SOP created? Was the SOP created before the enforcement of this constitution, or was the constitution in place before the SOP? And then when the way they talk about SOP, right now when una they watch me show, I can make me own SOP for VOS, for Salone issue show. Right now when una they watch me so, I can say right now, if you are watching my show and you want to watch my show, drink water with me. SOP number 1. SOP number 2, I can say una they send me likes. Wutete. SOP number 3, I can say to be consistently watching my show now for click on the star. So you see, but are my SOPs that I just don't create in front of now. Are they in contraventions of any human rights law? No. Are they in contraventions of the side where Asidonso, the territory where Asidonso, the Algonquin and Anishinaabe territory where Asidonso? Is it in contraventions of Mother Earth laws of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe territory? No. Is it in contravention of the Canadian Human Rights Code? Absolutely no. So you understand? You feel me, people? Now, for even beautify the gaffing of the Sierra Leone police, make a finish with 23 of the Constitution. Make we see what in 23 say. So if una feel so SOP na this big pro-haha thing, no. Anybody can form an SOP. Any organization can form an SOP. Any organization, anybody can develop an SOP because now is standard procedure within your organization. However, that standard procedure they not for abridge anybody in rights and enough for they outside the limits of the Constitution. And in this case, as well as international human rights treaties and convention where Sierra Leone don't sign to, and they can't open the phone line, and they can't open the phone lines. And they can't open the phone lines. I've been talking for almost 2 hours. So people, I hope you are ready with your calls, with your questions, with your submissions, because I don't take me 10 for really spell out this TSO4. Section 23, and I read. Provision to secure protection of the law. And I read. Whenever any person is charged with a criminal offense, he shall, unless the charge is withdrawn, be afforded a fair hearing within a reasonable time by an independent and impartial court established by law. It go on for say, any court or other authority prescribed by law for the sorry, there was a little thing happening. Any court or other authority prescribed by law for the determination of the existence or extent of civil rights or obligations shall be independent and impartial. And where proceedings for such determinations are instituted by or against any person or authority or the government before such court or authority, the case shall be given fair hearing within a reasonable time. Civil matter. Two civilians. Who determines? So he goes on to say all proceedings of every court and proceedings relating to the determination of the existence or the extent of civil rights or obligations before any court or other authorities, including the announcement of the decision of the court or other authorities, shall be held in public. Now I make her go inside the Constitution for now. And I really want to make her go inside the Constitution for now. This is not about LJ. Like I said, I'm using the case of LJ to treat the subject matter. Caller, waiting at your name and also you they call for.
I should go. I can go ahead now.
Yes, go ahead, caller.
Sorry why they laugh. Because it's Salone problem too much. So that doesn't make her laugh. Anyway, make her be serious for once. For this LJ in business, what did the police they do? I not say no right for cut somebody here. What make her say is not right because LJ it not be proved guilty yet. So if we don't prove guilty in body or in head or everything, now the state getter. But because the thing happened, and it's not gonna court for me to prove her guilty, police not get right for cutting here. You know, so the police in your side, it do wrong. But one thing back I make LJ know, not to in the only person at Salone. Every time I would an LJ. Anytime for the musician and LJ people that they hear report. It's too much. Make I no lie. So now me your inputs dandy. Do you big? Una left for me now dandy me just decide for say. The police absolutely did wrong. They did 100% wrong. So now me on what dandy. Una thank you.
Thank you very much. We did do a poll right now.
Yeah, welcome.
Show the gun. The question now is the Sierra Leone police a force for good? Out of 27 people polled right now, 1 person say yes, and 26% then say no. Now, even before I continue with the show, when this SOP don't come on a door, I don't read through now waiting the SOP say. I don't read through now waiting the Constitution say. Clearly, we know for say the SOP not they within the remit of the Constitution, neither it is within the remit of the human rights law. We don't see what in the police don't do, right? Now, I want to make una yeri waiting the Inspector General say the first time where they interview him, we dey go to that interview day with Umaru Fofana, reporting from BBC Focus on Africa.
Under the spotlight, accused by their National Lawyers Association of inhumane and degrading treatment of a person in their custody. And that person happens to be Boss LAJ, one of the country's most popular and controversial music stars. Here's Umaru Fofana to tell us more.
I just want to live my life, oh yeah. I just want my freedom, sings Alhaji Amadou Ba, better known as LAJ. No better time for him than now for these lyrics. I just want freedom. The hip-hop artist was arrested on the 12th of June on allegations of robbery. He was taken to Benghazi, a detention facility at the headquarters of the police paramilitary wing. His family and the country's Human Rights Commission have all been denied access to him amid allegations that he had been tortured and his cascading dreadlocks shaved off. The Inspector General of Police, Ambrose Savula, says his officers have done no wrong.
He is held in police custody as a result of crime he allegedly committed, that is robbery. He went to a filling station to purchase gas. He said they have delayed him. They pumped the gas and he snatched the bag from the pump attendant, gave him merciless beating, jumped into his vehicle and drove off.
He is alleged to have been tortured, his hair shaved off.
Yes, his hair was cut off. That's part of our SOP.
The standard operating procedure.
Sure, that's it. Because one, for the hygiene of the place. He thought he's been arrested unjustly, so he was using his hair to strangle himself.
Was he?
Yes, he was. He had wanted to get himself killed.
That was not contained in the police press release issued over the weekend.
Yeah, the press release was saying this, the SOP and some other reasons. This is the truth, nothing but the truth.
LAJ was due in court today. While 12 others arrested over his matter were in the dock, he was nowhere to be seen. His lawyer, Madio Sise, looked bewildered when I asked him about his client's condition.
I only saw him last on Tuesday, so at this point I cannot say.
Why not? Why haven't you gone to see him?
Well, they prevented us from seeing him.
Who did?
prevented by the police officers. But when I saw him, his appearance was completely different from the LJ I used to know.
What did he tell you about this condition under which he was being kept?
Solitary confinement, no food, background. We're actually restricting us from getting detailed discussion with him.
The police allege that he attempted to commit suicide using his long dreadlocks. Did he tell you that, or what did he tell you?
Not at all, not at all. I never received that instruction from him. It's like his own, that's his brand.
Are you concerned about his well-being?
Sure.
The country's Bar Association has condemned the treatment of LAJ. Michael Charles is their spokesman.
It is unacceptable, it is inhuman, and we have to make it very clear that we cannot sit by as an institution like this to see people's rights violated. It is important for the police to know that the Constitution exists and the police need to do something about their operations. This is not the first time we have heard of police brutality against civilians. It is notorious, and something has to be done about it.
The police say that they shaved off his dreadlocks because he attempted to strangle himself.
We have no way to verify that. And you should begin to question yourself whether LJ will have any reason to strangle himself.
There has been outrage on social media over the matter. In a poignant reaction, the country's leading folk singer, Fantasy, has shaved off her 10-feet-long dreadlocks, which she had nurtured for 15 years.
They don't beat me for you, they kill me for
Alleged police brutality has been in this country for generations. But as one old man told me in court today, this latest one conjures up memories of the 1980s, the height of it all.
a day for you, baby. Still it's a while for you, even if the rain come.
And that was the voice of Boss LAJ, top Sierra Leonean musician who's currently being held by police.
Okay, people. So that have been the first interview with Umaru Fofana do with the Sierra Leone Police Inspector General, Mr. Suvula. This SOP and using the reason SOP as a justification for court LJ in aid, court in dreadlocks, and say, according to the Inspector General Unayeri, he say, one for hygiene purposes, for in safety. Remember, this person don't go na Benghazi na the third term this. So the first time we go there, una not be member but in safety. Excuse me, and hygiene. The second time where he go there, una not be think about safety and hygiene. The third time now una capture una carry and go there because na capture una carry and go there. All of a sudden hygiene, and then it been suicidal. Do I believe that LJ was suicidal? Bollocks, I don't believe it. And not trust that justification they not also bet today, not also bet tomorrow. He does not come off as the kind of person, neither has he ever acted as the kind of person where go on for harming self just because police hold him, put an custody. People then go say, Matilda, you are not talking about the alleged injection of a red substance into his system. Again, just like when I refuse for comment on this whole thing until I get evidential fact, it is the same reason why I will not comment on the alleged substance, because a lawyer not come out up till now and say, me clients don't inform me say I was injected with something, or I feel some kind of way, and because of the way where I feel and this and that, you know, ever talk for say, in client informant say he was, illegally, injected with something and whatever that put him to sleep and cut in dreadlocks, this and that. No, what is confirmed is that his dreadlocks, mid dreadlocks, was shaved off. Now the justification where the chief of police Ingi is say because LJ use in dreadlocks for cuts for kill himself. LJ in dreadlocks not get the length where you need for pass around in throat and make a noose. I hope you people get that. LJ in dreadlocks in length, not a fantasy whiz in dreadlocks in length. Fantasy whiz in dreadlocks in length, as when I read, it was about 10 foot long or more, which she's grown over 15 years. LJ in dreadlocks, it just passing shoulder no more. A passing shoulder no more, Sidona in biceps, in pec muscles them. In order do for twist a knot and make a noose. So do you believe that statement? Absolutely, I not believe that statement there. I just think say the police has had so many brushes with him, and this time they decided that they will debase him. They decided that it is time we debase him. And they've thought of so many things. They don't think of boku thing and how they go debase him, how they go make him a subhuman, how they go remove indignity away from him. The 12 other people they want to arrest where they wanna shave their head, then self na suicide them be one commit. Please, let us talk about this. If LJ be one commit suicide and una shaving head because of sanitary reason and his protection and blah 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 blah, the 12 others that were arrested, including his older brother, that went to go see his brother to say what's going on with my brother, just for go see his brother where he gets a right to, where the constitution allow him, they hold him safe, put on a cell. Were they also suicidal? I will come back to this with shaving head because he was suicidal. I'm coming back to it. People, the phone lines are open. I'm surprised that you guys are not calling and giving your side, giving your views on this issue, because it's a very, very serious issue now we talk about Sunaya. This is not about LJ. This is about Sierra Leone. This is about the rights enshrined and guaranteed to ordinary Sierra Leonean civilians like we, that's been abused, that's not been taken into consideration. Well, they're not taken into consideration, they're not a look at them. Then just they do no more how them want for do and waiting them feel for do. So to the policeman, the communication director, something content we been Sidona AYV. We been they talk about how we been they talk not Sao Conte. Sao Conte was the one interviewed in AYV. Another Conte was the one interviewed at 98.1. When they talk about say the police justify and then get right for institute the SOP, but no one is saying you do not have a right to institute an SOP, but when you do, it has to be within the framework of the law. It has to do within the framework of the Constitution. It has to be within the framework of the human rights law, treaties and convention. It has to be within the framework of the Luanda guidelines. Some lawyers them na the society then take to them Twitter and then write some things them, which was in line with the Sierra Leone Bar Association, then Sefion sentiments. I go take this call. Caller, waiting at your name and no say you call from. Hello, caller.
Yes, hello.
Yes, caller, waiting at your name and no say you call from.
Yeah, my name is Lamina. They called from US.
Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
What just want for thank you for this your wonderful program. Firstly, I go on say the incident will happen will involve LAJ with the pump attendant. I know I actually delve into that one because I don't get any fact about what really transpire between it all two. What I just make concern about is about the treatment of the police over LAJ. We know say a lot of issues there we don't they happen concerning but police and civilians them. We don't see a lot of brutality, torture, you name it. In fact, we don't even see who say people and they lost their life unlawfully. We will not be the actually they expect say some of them here for the happen at this time. Because we all know the reasons why make we get this we bloody 11 years war. One of the main reasons now the way how police they treat issues them. We make some people be rather resort for going to bush and cause a lot of destructions in that country there. Some people they say, why all them here be done the happen? Yes, it be done the happen. But certain thing and at certain time they back thinking past mark. Where it be says until you go church another person, we go make at least everybody go be so concerned. I think it don't happen so. Because even waiting the police boss, the police boss they talk say, then we get an SOP for sure somebody in here. You know, it'd be so funny, it'd be really, really so funny. And look, the young man, when are the superintendent, waiting at the action where they do, at least for me the man speak out, waiting at the real thing, and not believe see that man gets any problem with that man he cause or that way that man for deserve, waiting they do to him. At least I really also happy again, at least the consciousness don't begin to come on from we Sierra Leoneans, especially where they live outside Sierra Leone. Because today we get a government where I would say 99% of the state institutions don't be captured. Where it be say people don't get anything for express their own freedom. Whosoever we talk, even though not the right thing you bring out, you are in trouble. If you not lost your life, then we intimidate you. So I really they glad here at least on social media when we brought up that enemy come out for the express some of them things there where they happen in our country. Because then country also we they at least then get a great influence now then country then they also come out. So anybody where go they talk say oh this or that and not make anything and call that person I believe serious in just the funny himself. You see this is the time for me, we really get for grab up. We, especially within the outside world, for long we say speak out on behalf of the people. If not, because we also the things say a very delicate period with the facing. So when are the electionary period for the country 2023? If the police then they treat civilians, how then they treat them so? This will be a concern for everybody. This is not a matter of red, green, yellow, or what. It's about the country. It really sad, at least for this 21st century, for the police they behave this kind of way. You see, in fact, if maybe get the power, the very IG for lost in job, or if Namawe really get respect for integrity for himself, and for just don't resign. Because it really don't show on professionalism. Okay. So just go talk our brother outside Indiana at least make himself take courage. Yeah, so I thank Una very much for giving me the opportunity. Bye.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller. So the phone lines are open. Una call. Una no wait stay away at the where I want close the show. Now that ending now. Una all they can line up now for give una comments them and views them. Please do not wait until the show is about to end. And then now that ending now, una make, oh, Matilda, no, it won't work. So please, now that the phone lines are open, it's good for you all to call and give a contribution. So obviously, we are the first police communications person. We actually say waiting at the right thing. And then we are the second one, we go na 98.1. We actually now in preparation for waiting the hygiene they can say, because now that I look at it, listen, I do analysis, so therefore it is easy for me to see how these things are done. He came to water the ground, to make sure the ground was soft, so that when he enters, it's easy for him to till the soil. That's what the second Conte did at 98.1, preparing the grounds for Suvula for making that BBC interview. I dey take the call. Caller, waiting at your name and also you the call from. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Madam Matilda. This is Fedima. I want to say you're doing an excellent.
Good.
Yes, fine. Thank you, Madam. I just want to say excellent job right now for Break and Dong, for make the layman of Sierra Leone, the lowest citizen of Sierra Leone, for understand. Because I think a lot of people on social media are missing the point here. It is not that you're justifying what in alleged and in rest of the group them, what they allege and accuse them of. Until that's why I say they have courts, they have lawyers, they have judges, they have juror of your peer that will go decide the case when they charge them to court. But the point here is, while he is in the custody of police, the abuse that they do to him, which is wrong, and people them the outcome. And I say again, it took George Floyd in America. George Floyd not been criminal. Then call 911.
Yeah.
Then say, okay, George Floyd, don't do this. What happened? The police came and took matters into his own hand. The whole world saw the abuse of power. Everybody come, Black Lives Matter begin. And so it is not about waiting LJ a criminal or not, or LJ don't pass here or whatever, they don't paint LJ or whatever in behavior. It is not about the behavior of the individual. It is about waiting the people, them, what we call the Sierra Leone police, where we trust, we swore for defend with properties and rights, where they abuse them for so long. We they see how with Sierra Leone police and they take matters into their own hand. Nothing they come up behind it. This is the outcry, this is the outrage, this is the fear, and every Sierra Leonean for be concerned. Because today maybe you party there in power, you think it is okay. No, but they can do until you back if we don't begin to set the standard, if we don't begin to hold these people accountable for what they do. And then they say, okay, he won't kill himself. He won't kill himself. So why they not been give access all the time to the family and the lawyers and the human rights people then for go there for 10 days? Why did they deprive him of his rights as a citizen? What he do? What did he get for high? What did they try for do? What did something is not right here, and that's the questions we're asking. So I just want to say thank you so much for bringing the Constitution out, read them to the people, because there is a guy on TikTok, he named Mada Musa. He's a police officer in the United States. And he talked the same thing when we all the echo so. And I said onto the forums, if people can go on TikTok. And the guy said exactly what you with the echo so, that they don't have no right to violating human rights and dignity. They were wrong. The police was wrong for doing what they did, and they know they can't apologize because they kept making excuses after excuses after excuses, and they continue to hold the people without giving them due process. Okay, they don't care, they go court, but waiting for knock me and knock you, this or this, they say they will keep you in a jail, because we know they're not going to let him go. We know they want to set an example. We know. You know, it's like, you know, they assume, like me, they assume, say, because of certain things that he speak against the government, he wants so then get personal attention for this case. That's why they use these orders from above, over that word day. Now in Salone get for less. And this Benghazi, where they go torture people, and it is not only LJ. They get people there where we not sabi their name, where they don't care inside. The last I was in Freetown, a young boy. Then get two fighting. The one because they get connection with the one they're within a power now. Then get posting there within the power. Guess what? Then take the one boy, two fighting. Then go there and torture people picking them. And this is they keep them there. They abuse them. Then torture them. Then put fear in them. Then deal with them. Then they let them go. And this is what has been doing. That Benghazi there is a torture chamber. It's a dark hole where we not for accept. Just like you said, we are not at war. We're not going to war criminal. And even the Geneva Convention say it is wrong for getting kind concentration camp then they for go and deal with people. So this is all I have to say. And thank you so much for your show. God bless you, my sister. And let God help well, because we're all trying, but we have to put our voices to this. This is because me, I'm afraid. I'm not going to say no lie. Me stress level high, because I was just baffled and bewildered, saying, it can be me. It can be somebody else. It can be you tomorrow. It can be the neighbor tomorrow. It can be your brother or sister tomorrow. So Salone people, let we left for take this thing, like, because this is wrong what police and they do to it. Thank you very much. God bless you, man.
Thank you very much, Madam Fadima. Thank you very much for your submission. And you know, this with the talk, you know, it don't put them into context. And I keep repeating this because I know for say some people and will say, oh, LJ, this is beyond LJ. This is about me. This is about you. This is about that person waiting than that remote village where, you know, one day see life now in life from where he born na Salone. Sometimes in master call him, you know, go one day see light. But guess what? We all ought to be treated the same under the law. We all ought to be given the same fair treatment. It no matter if me they drive Pajero, you they push Omolanke. It no matter if me they push Omolanke, you they push wheelbarrow. We all for be treated equal under the law. Period. Now, when that thing they come on a door, just like where the Sierra Leone Bar Association come and condemn this strongly, and they make it clear, say this is not about LJ, this is about protecting the constitution and you know, ensuring that the police no can big past the constitution, and that an SOP no can big past the constitution when na in the only law, na Salone we big pass any other law na Salone. Now from day night, everybody they draw their own for make waiting and get for make. So here is what the Sierra Leone Bar Association get for say. When una go notice say waiting the Salone Bar Association say. Now then same thing and they inside the constitution. Now I read give una, now I explain to una. So if I was making a mistake, if I was off as to what the Constitution guarantees its citizen and waiting the Salone police ought to do, una they can see, I make her go to waiting the Salone Bar Association right on the 19th. Just take a sip of water. So, the Sierra Leone Bar Association, the arrest and detention of press release. So that was on the 19th of June 2022. The arrest and detention of Alhaji Amadou Ba alias LJ, the Sierra Leone Bar Association, hereinafter known as the SLBA, has followed with keen interest the incident surrounding the arrest of Alhaji Amadou Ba alias LJ and his subsequent detention, which took place on the 12th of June 2022. We note with grave concern the allegations of torture and degrading treatment of Alhaji Amadou Ba and the refusal to allow his family members on he or his solicitor have access to him whilst in police custody as contained in an open letter dated 17th June 2022 addressed to the Inspector General of Police. These allegations of inhumane treatment have been bolstered by the admission of the Sierra Leone police in a press release dated 18th June 2022 stating that Alhaji Amadou Ba, who was and still in that custody, has his dreadlock shaved off. Such action by the Sierra Leone police amounts to the degrading and serious mistreatment and in blatant violation of Section 21, Section 20, subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Constitution of Sierra Leone, 1991, Act number 6 of 1991. The Sierra Leone Bar Association views the reason proffered by the Sierra Leone police for such action equal. Okay, give me a second. The screen switched on me, so I had to. Sorry, guys. Where was I? The Sierra Leone Bar Association views the reason proffered by the Sierra Leone police for such action equally untenable as the standard operating procedure SOP in the said facility is in stark violation with the provisions of subsection 21 supra at the flagrant flagrant disregard of the several international treaties, instruments that Sierra Leone has ratified, which provides for, among other things, the protection for the inherent dignity of the human person and protection against torture, other cruel, inhumane, and degrading treatment whilst in custody. Whilst the Sierra Leone Bar Association recognizes the general duty of the Sierra Leone Police are inter alia for the detection of criminals, the apprehension of offenders, the prevention of laws and others, and the protection of lives and property, these duties do not derogate the Sierra Leone police from its adherence to presumption of innocence of a detained and the provisions of Section 17(2)(a). Remember, I read Section 17(2)(a) for honor of the Constitution of Sierra Leone Act number 6 of 1991, which provides for, among other things, the right of a detainee person to access a legal practitioner and to communicate with him confidentially. So this is now the position of the Sierra Leone Bar Association. And basically, waiting and they say, now I've been not explained to una from the Constitution. From the Constitution, I bring to una Section 17, subsection 3, I bring to una Section 20, subsection A and B, I bring to una subsection 23 as well. I will take this call. Caller, waiting are your name and also you the call from. Hello, caller.
Hey, Madam Matilda. Welcome back again to this wonderful show. I don't say who me to look for you, say you will come back. But tell God thank you that we don't see you. This my call away me the call long ago. I stopped for call because of you. You know me there. But I just draw something closer. I so feel away see you right now. Just a quick one when I want to say, based on LJ, this in matter. people that claim say, oh well, then deport them because of that it gets bad record. I want to let people always aware say when you live outside, the slightest mistake when you they make, even sometimes when not to your fault, you they get deported because of that. I want to make them know that, and then for don't know the reason why make them deport LA before ever they try for castigate the guy or try for like make the guy look stupid in the society. That's now one. Secondly, based on which thing the police then do, it's absolutely wrong. There is no justification for it. Let me take say Sayo, the first guy, when he get a report and state their own procedure and how they train them for handle people then. Now, I don't let it clearly outside. Una no say una don't bad people in Pekin where they against LJ and your human rights. And I want less Salone police then no say LJ get the right for take them to international human rights courts because in here na in brand when make a follow it be or that it be where it be upstage. When it not gets na here, then nobody know they recognize and quick for saying LA this because in here as people in fear so they know all this like LA. I want them know that that's not one. Then secondly, the way how they treat mortal man them, Nana Benghazi, and they don't tell me they talk about that. You remember when they say Alibaba the 41 piece, now that the within generation, they all where they put themselves up there. Yeah, please. Auditor reports don't show double dipping. So what they want to tell me? So if you then all meet for side, I go tell them say, oh, I look towards the auditor report, double dipping. That's it. So they're not nothing for telling me that's not one. But then we go back again. So you don't do the first press release. They don't interview, they don't talk something. Let me talk so they don't make the mistake, they don't babam. But it's in a man of the police, as wise as I am, we all together, you don't do this report, which is good. Now we want to go against your own report. Now what thing we they do is, one person gets to take the blame. We they get one person, look here, we they pull you out, but that doesn't mean say this. You they take the blame, say, now on get that and bad early. Then immediately they come up as the IG say, the one that we do that, I don't dismiss them, and I be sorry, and I really sorry to the public for waiting happen. That is they want to play the game. But they not have to play the game, they say they go complain. But not to say that they play the game. That's not the other thing. Then secondly, the IG, when Sivula, he don't make mistake already towards BBC if you are listening on interview. He say even one police officer may don't die inside Benghazi, where international court, the ICC supposed for stepping immediately because all type of SOP where is so superior than the constitution of the land. Immediately they say me don't step in. And lawyers they say me don't take this whole team. I think say everybody they play with the old game. And I want to let them know say they just they naked themselves every day. Because the guys say where they demote them send a routine funk. They not know say that they don't say so they don't expose because everybody they say that guy is right. They are the wrong guy and then to them are the IC. And if you will not trust the police, I not feel say I'm Suvula supposed for they under anymore than supposed for them pull them. I go left fire so because of time and come back again, Matilda. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. And yeah, I acknowledge that I took a long hiatus, but I'm back. And thank you very much for coming on and giving your contribution. So now, when all of this don't happen and the police still go on for justify, remember the police IG still go on for justify the act, say they within the law. Now here is one thing I can say. Where the Sierra Leone Bar Association then give their own statement, if you notice something about Sierra Leone and even the law practitioners, sometimes, actually not even sometimes, many a times in certain issues like this, they will be at odds with each other. then go they interpret the law differently. That person they go they come and say, oh, because of this reason they are justified, because of that reason they are justified. But one thing that is remarkable in the situation, up until now as I speak, no single lawyer, practicing or not, no single adjudicator, practicing or not, can say the police was justified in their action, or that waiting the SOP stand for, it is within the remit of the law and it is in alignment with the Luanda guidelines or international treaties them where Salone don't sign. I want to read for una just a few cross section of some of the reactions of some of the practicing luminaries or legal minds them na Salone. Ade Macaulay, for example, go on to say, I finally give up on the Sierra Leone police. The excuse they gave for shaving off LAJ's dreadlock was SOP in their detention facility, where they have severely detained him in the past without shaving. Are they saying they forgot to shave his dreadlocks then? He asked the question. And then Batista Michael said, depriving a suspect who has not been charged of his rights to legal representation, detaining a suspect since June 12, at least 6 days without charges, admitting to cutting off his dreadlocks of a suspect who has not even been charged, and all indications that the Sierra Leone police has no regard for the human rights of the people of Sierra Leone. Our constitution and our international human rights obligations, I fear this will continue until we have a strong judiciary that will stand up and protect the rights of citizens. I go read one more. And this coming from Honorable Channel Ramadan Bao says, the SOP of the Sierra Leone Constitution should work within the human rights protection framework of the 1991 Sierra Leone Constitution and not override it. Shaving off LAJ's dreadlock goes against his fundamental right to human dignity. Nothing short of a public inquiry will suffice. And there are so many more, but I will stop with this one. So, lawyers, ordinary people, civilians, human rights activists, you name them. The one thing that people, everyone across the board agree on is that this SOP should be non-existing. This SOP goes against every human rights treaty where Sierra Leone don't sign and ratify, and it goes against the supreme law of the land, when at the Constitution. But here is where also, like me, sitting here as a trained international development strategist and communications person, when I speak, I have to be careful about my reporting. We write briefing notes and send up to people in higher seats of power. Where they report and they send, you get to be very careful. When you are reporting and you do not have certain facts, be careful of what you let out and what you say. Because those might break you or they might make you. When I say break you and make you, I'm not a talk about, physical breaking or making them. It might sometimes make you look funny in the eyes of people. I want to go to Umaru Fofana in last report, following the backlash of the public after the Inspector General give a reason, say the reason why make them shave LAJ in aid of, one, because they get a standard operating procedure, and inside that standard operating procedure they get for shave people the aid for their security, for hygiene purposes, and especially in the case of LJ, because he was suicidal. Make we listen. Okay, before we listen to this, we have a caller. I like to take as many calls during the show as I can. I will take the call, then we listen to that, and then we can close the show. Caller, what's your name and where you're calling from? Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Yes, hello. How are you?
I'm good. Can you please lower your set where you are listening from and then up your volume?
Okay. Hello?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Matilda. Mina Hannah call you.
Okay, go ahead.
I call from Australia. I call from Australia.
Okay. You need for dull the volume. You need for dull the volume na the side where you dey listen to, so that way that you no go hear me, and then you go talk wetin you want for talk.
Okay. So you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes,
You hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
You hear me now?
Yes, caller, go ahead.
Yes, Matilda. As I say, I call from Australia. I call from Australia. I call in relation to this issue about energy. Some of the things that we don't see that don't come on the internet or social media or you name it. We try and don't write a lot of things about this guy, the crime that what he don't commit since let's say what he did in America. And I don't understand why Salone police for justify the problem where you don't get in America, where make them deport and go Salone for this particular case where they own. I don't understand. The reason is LJ Salone is home. If America don't deport them, go Salone. Why is not for him to be in a EU country again outside and don't deport and go? Look, I know the support LJ, what he do or what he do. I know Sabian today, I know you need to term, that's where they see and so na social media with them kind of thing where they go on. But if you don't country, when a young country, you say you feel free again, and then they take something that they, let's say, even if you committed a crime in America, then they use that crime against you now for justify which thing then they do to you, the barbaric act and the misconduct and the ill treatment and the regarding and inhumane treatment when they don't do this guy. Is this fair? Today, na LJ, tomorrow, something could be you one person in your picking, something could be one person in your brother, something could be one person in your papa, something it could be one person in your uncle, you know. So I want maybe Sierra Leone and some of them where they still stay, people then they try for say free LJ or justice not for core of the crime what you do. They are getting it wrong, absolutely wrong, totally wrong. Some of us are looking at the inhuman treatment where they give this guy, and we know that because sometimes social media and a popular person, I make we know about this. Other people then they will not get the opportunity where in get to for letting they hang up to us out there. So then we know the time we within the people. Why they for open Benghazi? Waiting for what every day during the war crime they're not opening such facilities. Why now therefore they do this kind of thing? Now this we need now Salone. And you the IG, you know, even get the God for can apologize to the people. Like, look, I am really sorry for this incident where they do this. This is not me. I am not part of it. I am totally condemning it because this is not us. This is not the Sierra Leone police. That person, they just take things in your hands and he will pay for them. Are they doing your investigation thoroughly? Waiting them the audacity to put this person in here. But unfortunately, that's not it again. I'm so sorry for don't take your time. My dear, arrest my case. This is my own contribution we may want for me in this issue. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity for able voice out my own opinion and my own, you know, thing. Look, sorry, darling, you don't say you don't lost Paris. We don't follow you. You don't want to wait for you for some time, but we're glad to see you again because at least with your own intellect where you get, you can elaborate things to us for let we, some of we will get a little bit IQ, for let we get a better understanding, just like when you can elaborate and explain things to us about the law, let we understand things. But this is what the layman Sierra Leonean know, because we don't use this label business. Yes, sir, yes, ma, yes, ma, yes, sir. So waiting at this no, but it's not about LJ. Thank you very much, Martinda. Let me not take your time so that you continue with your program. Let God bless you for bringing out some of the things. So once again, my name is Hannah Kolia. I call from Australia, Melbourne. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to say what you are able to contribute. God bless you. Continue the good work.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Collier. And yes, I don't come back on live 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday. We go sit down ayaso for the talk. We not go tire because when we have bystanders in society, society goes rogue. But when people like us are here talking, and you know, and ceaselessly without season, I sure say something must change. Something has to bite someday, somehow. I will now go to that interview day with the BBC reporter, the second interview.
Actually.
Hi, Kaine. Well, amid a heavy security presence around the courts today, the state called in their first prosecution witness, who is a pump attendant at the fuel station where the alleged violent robbery and assault was said to have happened. The witness said that on Sunday, the 12th of June, the hip-hop artist and his gang arrived at the fuel station, apparently to buy petrol. He said two of those traveling with him started insulting the lady pump attendants, using expressions and words replete with expletives, to say on air. She nevertheless went ahead and pumped the 27 liters of fuel. The prosecution witness said that LAJ at some point got out of the car at the invitation of one of his travel mates and slapped the lady pump attendant, scolded him, the witness, and as he was carrying the sales bag on that day, took the money away and drove off without paying for the petrol. There was a police chase, and he was arrested in the east end of town. The alleged incident had happened in the west of town.
And these are allegations he denies. What did he look like, amid the police admitting to have shaven off his dreadlocks as well?
LAJ looked a shadow of his former self. This is a well-built man with cascading dreadlocks. I mean, if you went past his fans now, and he has a huge fan base among young people here, they would barely recognize him because he looked broken down, he looked forlorn, with a very long face, and of course with the absence of those dreadlocks. So clearly, he is not the man. Even by the admission of the magistrate in court today, he looked different to what he's used to saying whenever he had been in court before him.
That's really interesting. And sort of tell us a little bit about him. What sort of person is he? I was reading up a little bit about his profile, about his character. Is he as controversial as what you read on the websites? Umaru? And I think we might have just lost Umaru there. We're going to try and get him back.
Hello, Kani.
Are you there?
Hello,
yes,
Kani?
You are there. Yes, we've got you back.
Sorry, I lost you there.
That's okay. I would just ask you about what sort of person Boss Al-AJ is. From what I was reading online, he comes across as a controversial character. Is he?
He is controversial, Kani. He is a man. He's a very good artist. People say he sings very well. He's a good rapper. But that's it. He divides, public attention sentiments here. Some see him as a god. Some see him as a devil incarnate. He was deported from the United States, after some trial there and some going in and out of prison. And since his return to Sierra Leone, he's had a running with the law at different times. There was a point when he allegedly slapped a police officer right inside the police station where he had gone to answer to some charges as well by the police. And then that matter was taken to court. 9 times he did not appear in court. The magistrate issued a warrant, for his arrest. He was eventually arrested. And it coincided with a very, profane video he had put out against a female broadcaster in the country. So it's a man who is very controversial in and out of police stations and all the rest of it.
Okay, and talk to us about his supporters. Were they outside the court? Does he have them in big numbers, for instance?
He does have a huge fan base here. They didn't appear today around the court building because there was a huge security presence. But also 12 other people, mostly his fans, are also standing trial for alleged riotous behavior after they had gone to the police station where he was being held, and they are now being tried. And the fact that you have this police presence would clearly tell you why they are not around. But they are very active on social media, and they're even active along the streets of Freetown. They were not in court today for the fact that the police cordoned off the area.
Okay, that's really interesting. Tomorrow, no doubt we're going to be following this case very closely as well. Umaru Fofana telling us there about the case of Boss Al-AJ on the allegations of robbery, which he obviously denies. A fascinating character, which we will bring you up to date on that case here on Focus as we get it, and no doubt return to Umaru Fofana.
So we see the report by Umaru Fofana, the second report. To me, the second report almost feels like he was now trying to cover the tracks of the police inspector general. As a reporter, you report what you know. You do not report what is alleged. Can you prove that he was deported from the United States? Can you also prove for what reason he was deported from the United States, if that be the case? As a journalist, you have a certain integrity and ethics to hold. Not to me for can't tell you this, Umaru. I'm sorely disappointed, Sometime last year, or was it year before last, I was here defending your honor as a journalist, reporting on the matter, reporting on the issue, not having, bias reporting, doing your job. But did you do your job in this report? I don't think so. First of all, you went from calling him in your first report, in I get for be careful and the yegi waiting people and they say, and how people and they say in them. And then you will know he who pays the piper, he's playing his tune. You will understand when the piper is playing the tune of its owner. And when the piper is not sitting with its owner, you will know it clearly. You went from reporting and calling this man a popular rap musician to saying a gang. He was with his gang. You went from calling him a rapper, a popular rapper, to saying that he was with his gang. What were you insinuating there? Secondly, you go on to say that he was deported from the United States after a lot of run-ins with the law. Were you there? Were you present? Do you have access to his files? Were you part of the law enforcement, that sequestered him? Did you sign his deportation release? You also go on to say that he slapped a police officer, for which he failed to appear 9 times in court. We all know what happened because the truth came out later. Did he slap a police officer? Was that really what happened, or was he accused of slapping a police officer? You go on to say that he got a running with the law for raining profanity on a female journalist. Was he arrested, or was he made to be arrested by that female journalist, or did the police take the law into their own hands? Sometimes when we report, even as reporters, as journalists, let us be fair in our reporting. Let us not one day seems to be, in balance, and another time seems to be unfair and siding and taking side clearly in our reporting. This reporting to me almost seems as if you were trying to help backpedal and give credence to the inhumane treatment of the police to this person, and that is wrong. That is wrong. That is absolutely wrong. We cannot have a system where journalists who are supposed to report facts, who are supposed to report issues based on evidential facts, are now reporting based on assumptions and affiliations. You cannot have that. Look at the words them where you used before. You try for cover up for the police IG, and in your cover upping, or your semblance of cover upping, look at the things them where you say. The things them where you say, are they justified, or were they made up? Or are you trying to further assassinate the man's character, hereby giving credence to police brutality and mistreatment of this person? Is that how we roll now? People, we don't say Nayaso. I want for can close the show. But before I close this show, I will not do justice if I not read the message will come up from LAJ this afternoon to the people of Sierra Leone. So I want to read this message quickly. It reads, fellow Sierra Leoneans, following my arrest and detention on 12th June 2022, I have been very pleased with the wide condemnation by numerous sections against the police for abuses directed against my human rights. I wish to thank all Sierra Leoneans, civil society and human rights activists who have spoken out openly against the unjust and unfair way my human rights have been violated. I want to assure the public that all the allegations against me, including charges of robbery with violence, are false. My lawyers are actively working on this, and I pray that I get a fair trial and a chance to prove my innocence. I am desperate to see this matter conclude because I know I am innocent. My next court date is 28th of June 2022. I want to assure all Sierra Leoneans that I am a peace-loving Sierra Leonean, and despite all the pains I have endured, I request all my fans to remain calm and respect the peace. I also thank my family and my legal team for standing strong by me both in and out of court and for ensuring that I defend myself against these wild allegations. The truth will surely last. Please continue to follow my favorite housemate on AYV channel 399. Vote for Carafilo, housemate 23. This was a message by LAJ. My people, we don't come, we don't talk. I don't read the Constitution to una. I don't explain the Constitution to una. I don't read the guidelines. I don't tell una some of the guidelines of the Luanda Accord. I don't tell una what the police do clearly wrong. And I don't explain to una why. Taking my sole guide for tonight was the Sierra Leone Constitution, when at the supreme law of the land, whether we like it or not. That my producer they beg me make I take one more call, even though I try for close. Oh, okay, I go take the call. Caller, waiting at your name and also you they call for.
The next station is Leone. Yes. Okay. Yes, Matilda, this is Hannah Korea again. They call from Australia, Melbourne. Thank you for giving me the opportunity again to come in.
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Matilda, and just for, attest to some of the things that we don't need to be just, Yeah, I say, Matilda, just for attest to some of the things that we don't need to be just in the presentation of the journalist called Umaru Fofana. From day one, Umaru Fofana not they ever present news as it is. They always biased to waiting to the government of the day. That's how Umaru Fofana don't they present news. And the government of Sierra Leone, I would say the government of Sierra Leone, including the police, they have got confirmed bias, confirmation bias about LAJ. And confirmation bias is when you don't hold certain information about somebody, you don't care for investigate for knowing at the truth. But because they don't get that sentiment of all this America issue and everything, where they don't do thorough investigation for know the bottom of everything about this guy, so they don't get this confirmation that, oh, he is like this, even if he's no wrong. Look, me as I say, I tell million outright to you, Hannah Korea, because we set down them in one group with China custody. Now, Australia and I have to 2008, and the 1st of January, he was stabbed to death in prison. Why? Because of race. Just like what he means,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Somebody alleged say it's slapper. They arrest him for that. They're not saying nothing yet. Yes, they're not saying nothing yet. He said nothing hard yet. Now he gets killed the 1st of January 2018. Go on YouTube, you make me name Anacolia. You go see me, my one and only child. And they talk from the bottom of my heart as a mother, as somebody, whether it's maybe eligible big past myself, I don't know. I'm just saying. But for what you don't experience and I don't undergo and I know what it is like. If we, the Canadian part of the world, yeah, we know the peaks, advantages when they take against we. The side where we come out again, what we still feel that they will be a place where, as we can say, the saying goes like, there is no place like home. But if this a place, there is no place like home for LAJ and others, and if we ask some of us with the talk, you see, this is the confirmation bias that I'm talking about, because the police don't get their own sentiments and things against this guy. the reporter Umar Fofana has got something against him, and even the government, because no review, the Leone government no can for make any press release for say we are totally against the or the thing that the police have done to this gentleman, even though there is an alleged crime against him, but unfortunately, the waiting they done to this guy, we not accept them at all. None. And they said the vice president, I don't know, chairman or whatever it is called of the police of black and Jill and pink and white. I can just say like a Jill and Jello and just like a don't now. If you not put key inside, and all the open. Because even the first lady, they get voice and say passing. So I don't understand the system of policing or waiting with police. No, they're not side. Nobody know they will try police to be an account. Nobody know the way the police. So the police is above everything. Why? And then we say that we love one that we love our country, Sierra Leone. Where is this love? You see, everyone has got confirmation bias about the gentleman. Everyone. By sending wrong information and because of political issues, everybody they go with political issues. Now the kind justification they don't be up on the whole act about the police.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you.
Sorry, I know you want to go. Sorry for just taking your time. Me don't born boy picking us tell you a lot. The only child on earth where God been giving, you know. So I thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to voice some of the things. Let some people go look within a confirmation bias, within the meaning. Maybe they might understand who say Umar Fofana and Co and police where all man they come talk for just defend because of waiting them don't get about LAG. They don't care for investigate to know the truth. Because one person has to be good person one day.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Thank you very much, caller.
You have a good night. I'm going to continue to bless you. I will continue to join the program and they make me own contribution. Till I every Friday. We now done the Saturday and Saturday, so we so now yeah.
Indeed, indeed, yes, indeed. Thank you so much, caller, and I pray that the soul of your dearly departed son rest in peace, and may justice, or I hope say justice was given to him. And today my producer really they stretch me, make I not lie, they stretch me. Okay, I go take one last call and I'm closing the curtain because we have stretched this. Hello, caller, what's your name and who's you they call from?
Constant from Australia.
Hello, yes, go ahead, please.
First and foremost, me want to take from all the three parties them. The Bobo with them alleged say LAJ hot. One for say sorry to Ram. Then LAJ also the how the police and Twitter one for say sorry to Ram. And also the how the police handle the situation, they not handle it with any kind of professionalism. Wait till we stand here for nobody need to condole as alleged. LAJ action at the petrol station. But the police is a bigger institution way for set example, way for uphold the rule of law, way for set the standard. Now that would they confuse yourself with where they take sides into this argument. And when you take the argument for condemn the actions of the police, people think you are supporting LAJ. Will they confuse that? And it's wrong. The Bobo self where they alleged the assault, it gets where we for look at and say the actions as alleged is wrong. So waiting a million parameter where they argue on, what will they argue on? What did they do on LAJ? The police for set a standard where they for open their policies them and things and way the law provides say when you hold an accused person, you get for wait to make the court proven guilty before you take any action against that person. And at the end of the day, this person not give a consent for court in here. Let me, for argument's sake, the Inspector General of Police can at the BBC say the man want to take a life as insane. Even if you go court the person here, if the person here long take and I'm back, where you see and say a risk to his own life, you go court and to a certain standard wherein the Dadano will get a chance for rap over in that point he won't argue. So that in argument where he can put, he not get any logic, he not get any rationale. He just big fool himself, and in the IG himself say in the interview, as alleged. You say something at the IG, let people and go back so you talk and say as alleged. The man has not been found guilty of any crime. So why you go treat the person that kind of way? Even if you take and cough, let's say you not get an injection, you take and cough and cough, you don't subdue the person, you don't suppress the person. That you don't violate in human rights because you force for court in here where you not give a consent. If na any standard, na any first world country that happen, this guy could be compensated heavily by the government. Because that in here na a brand to in music, na a brand to in value. They just do it for humiliate the guy. So now that na me argument. We not can support LJ in action as alleged, but now the action of the police when an institution, now that na the argument, now that na the central focus.
Indeed.
Thank you so much.
Indeed. Thank you very much, caller. This will be my last call for tonight, and no more bonya, no nothing. This is it. So before I do me closing or restart me closing again, I want to read some of the polls them will be in the take during the show. I just want to make the producer just so one of the polls was that the police handle LAJ's situation fairly. 95% of UNA say no, that is 36 people polled, and 2 people then say yes. So out of 38 people polled, 95 of UNA say no. And the second poll question where we ask was, is the Sierra Leone police a force for good? Again, there we get no as 94% and yes as 3%. And I believe the third question where we poll, now should the police IG resign for misconduct against LAJ? And 90% of una say yes, 10% of una say no. So here we have it, people. So basically, people, like I've been they say, we don't reach to the end of this program. I believe say this now one of my longest programs stretched so far. Una know for expect this every day, and I don't think expect it ever again. We never know. I never say never. But it was important for us to highlight this thing for make a piecemeal and put together. And I really appreciate all of the callers them and the comments them where they say thank you very much, Matilda, for taking your time going through the Constitution with us, telling us the provision of the Constitution, what is right under the law and what isn't under the law. I appreciate all of that. Now for close. Again, I want for repeat. This issue is not about LAJ. I use LAJ in case as a case study. I could have talked about the Pademba Road prison assassination what happened. I could have talked about the lady where the policeman used grenade for say he alleged thief a phone. I could have talked about the repeated abuse of Blacker, the guy with mental, disabilities. I could have spoken about, the policeman who shoots the civilian or the aid man na Esting. I could have talked about the numerous policemen that will drag the woman from a house to treat, say in the name of arrest. I could have talked about the policeman will tackle the keke driver in the middle of the street. There are so many incidences I could have talked about. However, none of the incidents then they as grave and as nefarious as they were, not reach this side way, then they go cut you here and you aid even when you are not guilty, proven guilty of a certain crime yet. So I choose to talk about what is present and waiting from all the incidents that we don't happen. The police decide for respond to this one. If you notice, this incident had the most reactive response from the police ever. So therefore, we had enough materials to dive into the law for showing within the law say and talk them through the eyes of the law. So therefore, even as I close, I don't read to now all the sections them of the Sierra Leone Constitution we apply to this case. I talked to Una about the Lohanda, guidelines, and that guidelines they will guide where the police them. And one of the basic trainings them where they get across the board. Now, I don't talk to Una and I don't tell Una say, clearly the reporting, as the callers say, one day maybe I will take the time for tell Una waiting confirmation bias. Waiting Umaru Fofana Duna in second reporting and waiting you they call red herring. Red herring we mean for say you they try for deviate people their attention to the present situation, to waiting important, and then distract them for make them focus on other things. And what he did here was not only confirmation bias aiding the Inspector General and the action of the police, but he also red herring in the process. So now for make people then left for look about the human rights violation, abuse, and accusation, and then turn towards the character of the individual. So he tried to assassinate. He tried to do character assassination by red herring. So for divert the population, the attention to something else. They were throwing hooks. Unfortunately, they hook them where then they throw no hook. To the police, you claim say you caught the person in here for safety because he was suicidal. But also in the process, you arrest 12 other people then. Where in Umaru Fofana in red herring, he called them LJ in gang them. Use of words, people. You caught them people and they didn't hear. So then self, them in they grow dreadlocks where them be one use for commit suicide. What's the length of this man in dreadlocks? In dreadlocks, not they even tie a noose around a neck. And more importantly, waiting make whose justification, whose medical certification or certificate una get for sure we say this person has been under observation by this psychologist or by this psychiatrist. Who done are the psychiatrist doctor and who done are the psychologist we monitor him? For how long a period was he monitored for him to have been declared suicidal? What were the instruments, what were the diagnostic instruments used? Which application una use for diagnose and say is suicidal? Who was the doctor? Who was the expert in that room? How long was he monitored? When una they use word them, una not forget say there are people out there who will reason it out and ask you questions in return. To the Vice President of Sierra Leone and to the President of Sierra Leone, how can you know about the Vienna Protocol, the Vienna Convention? How can you know about the Luanda guidelines? and every other guidelines. And how can you know about the Sierra Leone constitution and yet sit as a government and allow an institution or a place called Benghazi right in the heart of the nation, in Freetown, when even somebody don't die there by the confirmation of the very police, somebody don't die inside that place there? Why is it still open? Why is it still running? I will say it again, Sierra Leone is not at war with any other sovereign nation. And because we are not at war with any other sovereign nation, why does such torture camp exist? And even if we were at war with another sovereign nation, it does not give us the right, according to the Vienna Convention, it does not give us the right to have such facilities in our country. So the said vice president, do your job and stop, putting pressure on people. And you know the people I'm talking about. And that's why I did not consider that press release today. Do your job. Pademba Road, it's been over a year. We are waiting. The people are waiting for something. Benghazi, you are the head of the Sierra Leone police council. So therefore, it's not that you don't know, say this kind place exists. You are well aware. And yet you put a check mark on it. But yet una go na international forums them. For go talk, say, una don't. Why why remove the death penalty? Why remove the death penalty and do all of these things if you're going to have a torture camp existing right in the heart of the nation? Why? So Uda una de fool. Uda una de play cook with. And to the Human Rights Commission, I aptly look forward to your report of Sierra Leone. In terms of human rights abuse this year, I aptly look forward to it. To the Inspector Sao Conte, my apologies to you, because you are the type of people that we need in society. You are the type of people that we are speaking of, that we are encouraging to uphold the law, the rule of the law. Don't go against, don't contravene the rules of the law. But for speaking the truth, you were punished by demotion. For speaking the truth, for upholding the Constitution of Sierra Leone, for saying what the Constitution allows and what the Constitution does not allow, for standing in your truth and being an upright policeman at that time. Instead of them applauding you for doing the right thing, instead you were punished for doing the right thing. So to you, sir, I salute you for doing the right thing. You became a victim of a very endemic, rotten system that refuses to change. But I hope that does not leave you in despair. But that's, it boosts your resilience for stand by the truth and say the truth, regardless of what the consequences may be. Today, it's LAJ. Tomorrow, it can be you, it can be me, it can be anyone else. That is why it is so important for make we get in conversation there. To the alleged victim of the gas station, if you were wrong, you have right to justice just like LAJ has right to justice. Because guess what? You are also a citizen of that nation. And you also deserve justice. But justice must be dispensed in the right manner. Justice must not be dispensed, in an unfair, in a biased manner. Speak your truth. Don't allow people to coerce you to say that which isn't true. Speak your truth. Because eventually, no matter how it no matter how they turn and no matter how they twist, and that's who they go actually Canada. I am not saying if LJ did what he did that is justified. Neither am I not saying that the alleged victim does not have right to justice. Both parties have rights to justice equally under the law. One should not be treated unfairly. LJ gets the right for sue the Sierra Leone police. LJ gets the right for take the Sierra Leone police to the International Human Rights Court for what he's endured. Because justice dispense absolutely, without a question of a doubt, outweighs the said crime or alleged crime. Absolutely. We cannot sit back and allow such institutions such as Benghazis and all of that to be operating in the 21st century Sierra Leone, a nation that has suffered war, that has seen the worst. When human beings forget to be human beings and they turn into beasts. We cannot allow that to happen. So today, this show, in as much as I use LJ as my case study, is for every Sierra Leonean, regardless of your status, regardless of your condition. It's for each and every single one of us. We have to do better. We need to do better. We should do better. The police force cannot be the plaintiff, the prosecutor, the adjudicator, and the juror at the same time. We cannot have it that way. And these types of brutality cannot continue to go unchecked. And people not be asked questions. Something, not even half of something like this here, so if it happen here, so that police officer, that police IG, they know say, if I resign immediately. Enough for wait for make them get a resignation. And instead they go tender in resignation. But here we have a police force who thinks they are justified in their actions, oppressing the people that they ought to protect. Listen, if I have not said it enough, I will say it again. Peace, unity, justice, and freedom, let it prevail. But let it prevail for all. I tell una all thank you. May God bless we all. And may God bless Mama Salone.